Welcome to Jackal Digital. It feels like it's been a while. In today's video, what I'll show you is how to turn a black and white video, in this case a GIF, into this kind of video with checkboxes. I saw this being done in JavaScript or something similar, but I wanted to do it in DaVinci Resolve. So I'll show you how you can do it. Now let's get digital. Now I did make this a while back, so I did forget a little bit how I've done it, so I will show you the composition and then we'll do it from the beginning. Speaking of beginnings, you do need a video. In this case I have a GIF, as you can see. It's a black and white GIF. It's not full size resolution, but we can fix that. And the end result can look something like this. So if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that the result is not perfect, but it still looks good once this is being played. So let's take a look at the composition. So we have the media in, the mosaic blur, we have a bitmap, a background, some more backgrounds, we have a text with checkboxes, another set of checkboxes, merged together, and that's about it. And these are basically the checkboxes that I have exported in a saver node because the system was getting a little bit choppy. So basically all you need is this. So 12 nodes in total plus the media in and the media out. I will simply copy this into a new Fusion composition and I'll simply use this video clip. As for the project resolution, it's 2560 by 1440p at 30 frames per second. So once you have the video clip or the GIF that you want to use, simply go into the Fusion page. Now this will be my cheat sheet, so I'll simply paste it above. The first thing that we need is mosaic blur to make a choppy image like this one. So shift space, mosaic blur, display it, and have I actually used default settings? It looks like I have. So then we have bitmap. What does bitmap do? Let's take a look. It removes the unnecessary mosaic blur, so that is why I have used this. So shift space, bitmap, not as a mask, it has to be connected after the mosaic blur, but when you connect it you will simply see white. So you have to adjust the in and out ratios. By how much? Who knows? And in this case using the alpha channel is not it, so I will use the red channel. So just use any of the channels that you want. In this case blue or red give the best result, so I'll just use the red channel. But as you can see, I also got the lines in red channel, so simply adjust the sliders and adjust them in a way so that the pixels aren't too small. Maybe something like this. Take a look at this value, 0.95. Is this actually better? Maybe it is. So in this case 0.95 is the value that I'll use. You can then also either clip black or clip white to not have any blurriness. In this case I will clip black. Now the next thing that I have is a background connected to the bitmap. And why is that? I can show you that in a bit. So if I forgo all of this, which is connected like so, and simply want to connect this as a mask to a checkbox, this is basically what it is driving. So this background goes to merge as a mask, so for the front and for the back. But first let me show you how I've done the checkboxes. So I've used a text plus node. I'll display it on the left side. I've simply typed in a bunch of R's and a bunch of T's. As for the font, I went with, let's see, is it Windings or Webdings? Not Webdings, so it should be Wingdings, Wingdings 2. Now you'll do this in two separate text nodes because you need one for the checkboxes with the tick and another text node for the checkboxes with access. Now this is one way how you can do it. Is this the best way to do it? Probably not. You could use an image, and you should. You'll see why in a bit. So first we have to get rid of the spaces. We do that by adjusting the tracking. And we'll have to zoom in so you can see when this starts to overlapping. Maybe something like this. Looks good. But maybe at the moment this is a little bit too big for our, let's call them, pixels. So let us just overlay the text. Doesn't want to. Okay, so let's go with a merge node. Display this and also change the color of the text so you can see it. But we can't see it. So that is one issue of just using the bitmap. So maybe what we can do is using a background node, connect the background into the back, then the bitmap into the front, and then the text to the merge like so, and now we can see it in the top. But as you can see, we don't see anything in the transparent sections, which is okay. This is where the second text comes in, but before it does, we should scale this down. So in this case, the checkboxes are too big, so we can go to the text and change the size. Now how big the so-called pixel should be, that is up to you. Will it be this size? Will it be this size? Just know that the smaller it is, the more intensive this can get on the PC. And in this case, also as you can see, we need to add some more lettering and maybe adjust the position a little bit. So we'll go to the layout, adjust the center, and then we also have to position it up. In this case, if we want this to be all the way to the left, we should simply do so. So that is one row. All that we have to do now is simply copy this a bunch of times. I think that's about it. But similarly as before, we now need to adjust the line spacing. I think that's good. But we're still missing a few lines, so let's add them. And also, so you don't have this issue of the text being positioned up and left, you can simply adjust the horizontal anchor to the left and also the vertical anchor to the top. So now you can simply position this to the top left. And now it doesn't matter how much text you add to the ending or how many lines, you won't have to move anything anymore. So this is one section. We'll now have this masked out. So now you have to decide, will this be the foreground or the background? What I'll do though is delete this node, copy this one, since we have all of the settings already set. Press T, and I'll simply have to copy a bunch of them. And in this case, it will have to go from this side all the way to the end. So something like that. Copy this a bunch of times. And to make it easier, you can simply do it like so. So now we have the axes also done. Maybe change the color of them. Connect them. So now we have both the axes and the ticks in the front. We don't want that. We want one of them to be in the back. But currently we can't do that because we only have the white as a foreground and nothing in the back. The back is being transparent. But if you go into the edit page, this is black. So this is what we want. Instead of black, we want here to be the other set of checkboxes. And to do that, I had to add this little section. As you see, we have these two things, but we also have to somehow mask this off. Let's see if we can do it somehow differently. So this will be the first section, and then I want to mask this off with a black background. So if I just take a look at how I've done this previously, I had a white background and this went in as a mask. So maybe I can also do that. Simply use a background node, turn this to white maybe, and I'll connect this to the mask of this one. It didn't change anything, at least at the moment. Will it do if I change, let's see the settings, apply mask inverted, it did something, it got rid of the excess. So this is actually not what I want. Currently I want this to be black because I do need a black background, but if I just do this, it makes the foreground black. I want the background to be black. So this is why I have connected it in this way. So we'll take a merge node, connect the background to go into the back and this in the front like so. And if the background is black, we should see it be black. This should work right, but we don't see any changes. Now what's different between this composition and this one? It's this background node. So let me add the background to this section, and this background will be white as the above one is. So this one is white, as you can see. And now we have the background, which is this black, and the foreground, which is this white. So that's all good. And maybe now I can simply use this as a mask to a text node. So this still does not do what I want. And do you see why? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, so if we take a look at this composition, the top one, and comparing to the below one, what do we have? We have the top text, which is this one, and the background text, which is this one. They are being merged with a node. Because I have currently just connected this as a mask, this is being input as the background. As you can see, we don't have any black here, so that is an issue. So this has to be on the top, and this will be the background. So let's add the merge node. This will go to the top. This one will go to the background. What do we have now? Nothing. And that is because we don't have anything here. So let's add this to the back, like so. So this is a little bit better to what we want. And I also have a background connected as a mask to this, so I can use this one, connect it as a mask. And now I have gotten rid of all of the X checkboxes in the black. So now I'll simply go to this merge that has the background connected as a mask and apply the mask inverted. So now we have the checkboxes, the X's in the back, and here we have the ticks in the front. So once we merge this, we should see everything, right? But we don't. We somehow lost this section. Now I'm quite positive there are other options how you can do this, but what I have done is connected this merge, which is now the black and white image, this providing the white section. I have connected this as a background to the first text node, and then I have also taken this background again as a mask to the first text, like so, but then in this merge I have simply used multiply by mask. So now we don't need these two nodes in the front, we can get rid of those, and this is the final composition. So if we now play this, it looks like so. So now let's go into the edit page, wait for this to render out and see what results we got. Now I think this is a cool looking effect and you can make some awesome stuff. And if you also think that, like the video and subscribe to the channel to get more DaVinci Resolve content. And until next time, Jackal, keep it digital!